Hello, this video is about thinking, more exactly redefining intelligence and creativity. In order to do that, first of all, I would like to speak some words about how we can understand thinking based on the rapid repeated restructuring paradigm. In rapid repeated restructuring paradigm, it is a key concept that within a system there are subsystems, and these subsystems are linked to each other. The subsystems receive data from the environment, and this environment is the same as the environment of the system itself. So from the environment, information comes to this subsystem, and depending on what is in this subsystem, output will be generated, and this output will go to other subsystems based on its connections. So connection 1, connection 2. Usually, of course, it depends also on our level of examination, but usually we take the subsystems as static. Of course, if you would like to understand even more in details the behavior of a whole system, we can go and zoom into a subsystem and investigate what happens there. But for now, we should take the subsystems as the ultimate entities of investigation that are stable. We do this because when investigating the question of thinking, these subsystems are the so-called cognitive schemas or cognitive schemata, that are words, concepts, laws that we are using, or notions that we are using in our mind. Let's see what happens if information arrives to our mind. This whole is our mind, and cognitive schemas within are the subsystems of the subsystems that are building up our mind. As they go through the different links, information will be generated. With other words, an output will be generated, and this output will be compared to other information from the environment, other inputs from environment, and if they are similar or they are in harmony, then we say yes, we have solved the problem. If they are different, then no, we didn't solve the problem. Just to take an example, we see a face. We are connecting them to different memories and different pieces of our history, and a name will be generated. Let's say Anna. If the person comes to us and presents herself as Anna, then there is a match, and the structure that we have is perfect. If she presents herself as Eve, then the structure wasn't okay. So we have to restructure the connections of our mind, and to change the input, the connection between the inputs and our memories, more exactly the names what we have. And this is why we are calling this rapid repeated restructuring, because when a more sophisticated, more complex problem we face, in that case there are a very, very high number of trial error cycles, where different connections we try out whether different setups or patterns of connections until we reach an optimal output that is matching an information from a different controlling source. That is what in this paradigm we are calling testing. Testing is the process where we check whether a structure what we have is correct. Should it be stabilized and recorded, or we have to go into a new trial error cycle. So that was the short introduction into how RRRP is looking at thinking, and now let's see what we can say, or what we can how can we see creativity and intelligence. For those who are literate in psychology, they are educated in psychology, maybe my usage of notions putting in parallel the creativity and intelligence sounds a little bit strange, because in psychology we call intelligence as ability to solve problems quickly and learn fast. Creativity is something very strangely defined, because it has connection to originality, to delivering different solutions to the same problem. And now I try to prove you that we are talking about the very, very different aspects of the same process. There is a third aspect what we use in the everyday life when describing somebody's intellectual capacities, and that's memory or knowledge. That's something highly emphasized in the schooling system, educational system, learning different data and different notions, definitions, and so on. All these are the same process. When I'm saying memory, it's not too difficult to accept that it's the number of this cognitive schema. The more we know, the more possibilities we have to connect them. And this is one topic, the number of the schemas. Another issue is what is also connected, because it's the same but on a different level, when specific setups, so let's say this S type of connection of this 4 schema is stored in a higher level schema, and that's a new notion, for example a definition. So this one is a word, this one is a word, this one and this one is a word. All these is a sentence, and this sentence is a definition of a new schema that we can see also as a schema very similar to this one. So when, for example, I use a law of thermodynamics or Newton's law, or I make a difference between black and white, then I'm using the links between schemas that I already have, and the links is by links I mean a specific order, that 1, 2, 3, 4 that goes the information through. It's obvious that if it goes in a different direction, 1, 3, 2, 4, then a different output will come out, and that's what we are calling restructuring, that this link is seized and the new link is established. So if we have already a big amount of knowledge, meaning many schema, a high number of schema, and these are ordered in a good hierarchy, meaning that we not only have on this very low level of our schema system knowledge, we know not only words, like when you are studying a new language, then in the beginning you know only the words of, say, French. Then you start to link them, and you are using phrases, then sentences, and so on, until from when you would like to say something in French, when you are learning French, then you have to dig very deep to translate your English words to French words, and using the same connection pattern that you have in English, you are trying to reuse it in French. And many cases this is a mistake. When you can translate your higher level English ideas directly into higher level French ideas, and I mean by this a second, third, and so on level in this schema hierarchy, then you are starting to speak more fluently. You start to think French. You don't have to go deep in your schema system and then to translate it to French, and then the words put together, you are saying it, because you are thinking on a higher level. So this means that you started to understand French, to say French, and this, of course, the opposite direction process is understanding a language. A language is when learning a language is very similar to learning a science, because it's the same process when studying physics or mathematics or chemistry or so on. First you have to know the basic notions, and then you start to connect them, and as you have connected them by learning different laws or theorems or axioms or whatever, then you start to operate with on a higher level with more complex structures. But let's go back to different types of thinking. One is when it's a big help when you have a huge knowledge. In normal psychology, you are calling it memory processes, and this is establishing higher level schema, or even you can broaden your knowledge by increasing the base of this pyramid. You can learn more about this process in my book Self-Expansion. The next thing is, what is intelligence and how do we solve problems? We can solve problems many ways. When I'm saying rapid, repeated restructuring paradigm, in this rapid, it's a speed. How fast you can seize one link and establish a new one. That can be different. Some are creating in 1 second, say 10 different solutions, and they are testing, remember here, testing say 5 of them. Others are in 1 second, they are creating only 5 solutions, but they are able to test maybe 7. So this can be very different between successful people, how fast they can seize and create, and by seizing and creating, you are generating a new solution, and that's what classical psychology is calling creativity. And why I'm saying that it's the same process, because the whole trial error cycle is full with creativity. But in the trial error cycle, as also the name says, there is very many errors. 90 point whatever percentage of the trials leads to error, and this error is found by testing. And somebody can, as I showed here, somebody can be very good in testing, because what can you do with very clever ideas that are useless? So even if somebody has created many solutions or many possible solutions, if these are not tested well or not tested at all, then the whole output of the thinking process will be useless. The stability of these links described here and here is also can be an advantage. It shows a less flexible thinking, but by having a stable, it's like the roads. If you have many lane roads, you can go this direction in 3 different lanes, this direction 3 different lanes, so altogether you have 6. In that case, destroying such a very good and fast motorway is very difficult. So seizing, like here, a very well established link, it's difficult. But when you have to only to perform, then a fast and well established link is very helpful. So that can lead also to speed. If you have good schemas, well connected, then you just have to stabilize them. Of course, if you have stabilized these links, then you will have difficult, and you were successful with this, then it gives a rigidity to a flexibility to your personality, because it's very difficult to destroy a 6-lane motorway instead of a very simple path through the in the woods that is, even you cannot recognize that there is something there. So you can see, I'm trying to emphasize that there are very many ways of thinking fast and thinking well. Originality, that is a key factor in creativity, is also a well-performing process in this rapid repeated restructuring, because you are restructuring in such a way that others didn't do, and your testing system works perfectly by recognizing and accepting a solution that at others was thrown out. Personality has also an important role, because rapid repeated restructuring is also connected to randomness, meaning that from a specific level of investigation, this whole process, this whole trial error process, is can be seen as a random, uncontrollable or uncontrolled process determined by some kind of luck. Instead of this, you can go and be very systematic, trying different setups of connecting of your cognitive schemas, and to do that you have to be perseverant, meaning that to accept and tolerate frustration, because you have to invest serious energy in creating, establishing and destroying your schema, and if it doesn't lead to a solution or success, it's really frustrating. And when you go systematic and connecting, trying all the possible connections of the schemas, that can be a long and hard process. And if your personality is tolerating this, then that can be also a way of being successful and solving a problem, luckily. Thank you for your attention. We ran out really of the time. This is 24 minutes instead of my preferred 20 minutes. So thank you, and hope to meet you in the next video.